Hi guys, welcome to episode 7 of Get Your Buzz On, sponsored by Bundlebee Insurance. We're going to be starting off our podcast with La Marca Prosecco, so I'm excited to get our buzz on, and we have special guests.
I feel like it's going to pop. I feel it. Whoa, I knew it.
You know,
that would totally happen. I hope this is not ever edited out of this. Oh my god, we better keep that. We better keep that.
I'm okay with keeping it in.
Like that is like the quintessential our personality right there.
Yeah, I'm like, so after that craziness, I want to introduce my BFF, Heather Harmston.
Hello. Should I say where I'm at?
Yes.
Okay, so I am a licensed realtor, and right now we're at the Home Pros Real Estate Group office. Thank you so much to Penny Moore for sharing the space with us. And I've been here for here in this office, I've been here for like a year. But as a realtor, it's like going on 10 years. Isn't that crazy?
Has it been that long?
I feel old. I feel old. And not just in my mind, in my body. I wake up feeling old. And I'm like, I'm only 32. I'm like, how is it going to feel when I'm 40, 45? I don't know.
Oh my god, that's why we're gonna drink.
Cheers,
love.
I definitely don't feel old when I'm drinking. I feel younger when I'm drinking.
I'm like, we got it. We still got it. Please.
Oh, that's good.
That's delicious.
And I haven't eaten it, and she hasn't eaten, so it's gonna affect us a lot.
Well, that's our whole thing. We have to spill the tea, so I need to get you as drunk as possible.
Right? I'm like, okay, do the timer where it's like the time relapse, where it's like ding, 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 ding. You know, the clock.
So I was like, that way I can take care of that.
Mm-hmm.
So, Heather, what's been your favorite thing about real estate in the last 10 years?
You know, it's crazy because I think the people that I've met along the way, like, it's always changing. There's like it's always so inconsistent, but in a good way, that it's a lot of variety. You're faced with new challenges, something that I've never experienced. I mean, the people change, the market changes, everything changes. So it's like, it's like you go to a new job every day.
Yeah.
And it's cool. I mean, it's frustrating as hell sometimes because you're like, when you have to deal with so many people on a daily basis.
Yeah.
It's a challenge in itself.
So what do you do? What's your specialty in real estate? Because there's so many variables that you can get into. So what's your specialty?
Everything.
You're like, call me.
You're like, selling. No. So I started, actually, crazy story. The craziest story is how I got my license. So I moved here like 10 years ago, and I moved with my ex. And so I was new to El Paso. I had absolutely no intention of being in real estate. I had a degree from another college, so I was like trying to go for interior design.
Yeah.
And I moved into a Zia house in the Northeast. So it was a model home.
Uh-huh.
And at the time, it's so funny because I remember unpacking my stuff, and I had a dog. I have Roxy. And so I'm unpacking, and then I get like, this guy is opening up my front door, and I'm like, what the? And so I go, and I'm like, hi, and he's like, he had no idea. So he was a rep for the builder, but he had no idea that it closed. So this guy, he like randomly opens my front door, and here I'm like, what's going on? And so I have my dog Roxy, and I'm like, I don't really care, but I just don't want her to get out.
Yeah.
So he comes to me, and he's like, hey, oh my God, he's like, I'm so sorry, I didn't know you closed on the house, like we didn't get notified. And I said, oh, and he's like, but could I show it? And I was like, well, I don't care, that's fine, because we had nothing there. We had no household goods.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, yeah, I don't mind, but like if you do it again, could you knock or ring the doorbell or something? So he showed the house, and then he left. And then Emily, which was the listing agent at the time, Emily Samaniego, she's like 30, 40 minutes later, no joke, opens the door.
Ooh.
And I'm like, do you guys not talk to each other? I was like, oh my gosh. She's like, I'm so sorry. I'm like, okay, well, I guess you're a realtor too, and you want to show the house. And then she's like, yeah, I'm so sorry. So we just started talking. We just started chatting. And I think actually, we had a really good conversation.
Yeah.
But she knew, number one, I didn't have a job yet. And then she needed people, because at the time, they only had like 5 agents at KB Realty. And they just got Zia. Like, that was the new account that they got. So she's like, hey, okay, we need people to sit the model. Can you maybe consider like sitting the model? And I was like, I guess I'm not doing anything else.
Yeah.
You know? Like, I'm so bored here because I don't even think we had cable. Like, we had nothing. So I went there, I started sitting the model, and then at the time the broker was like, hey, there was another girl that started just like me.
Yeah.
And he was like, hey, whoever gets to 3 contracts in the first month, or the first person to get to 3, I will give you a bonus.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh my God, so cool. Like, okay.
You're like, I'll take that bonus.
I'm like, what's the bonus, you know? So it was going to be, I think, like $500.
Yeah.
So I went, and I guess I got to 3 first, and he asked me, because I did pretty well, and he was like, hey, okay, I could give you the bonus, or I could get you your license. And I was like, huh. And I was like, well, I was like, you know, I'm not going to say no. I mean, even if it doesn't work out, like, that's easily worth $1,000. So,
yeah.
like, it makes sense for me to just, like, have you pay for my license.
Yeah.
So I did, and that's how I got my license. And I think I did 2.5 years of, like, SIA homes.
Yeah.
Like, builder homes. That's all I knew. So then I was like, I got my first resale, and I'm like, what the hell do I do? I'm like, how do I do this?
Because it's a completely different ballgame.
It's so different. Even today, like, I still have people who only do builders ask me questions about resales, and people think, like, that you should know everything, but it's really difficult to, like, know everything. So I remember the first time I did my very first resale contract, I was like, oh my God, like, what is this? Like, I'm sticking to builders, because it was so easy with builders.
Yeah.
So I did that, and then I kind of just did everything for about 5 years, 5 or 6. So I went to a couple different brokerages, and I went to, like, David Acosta's team. And I think 4.5 years ago, I actually wanted to get into investing, because I was like, you know what, I'm missing something, I'm bored, maybe I was, like, a little burnt out, because I had been just doing so much of the same thing over and over, and I was like, I'm missing something, I don't know what it is. So I actually, I went back to KB, and I did my very first flip by myself, and then I realized, like, right off the bat, I was like, this is what I'm missing. I was like, I'm missing this because that's what I went to school for.
Yeah.
Like, at least I can finally use my college education, which cost me like $100,000 in student loans. Like, it's such a waste of money, but it led me to this place, so I'm okay with it. But
and the houses that you've done, if you guys haven't seen it, they're beautiful. You do that. When you look at your designs, what's your inspiration, or how do you come up with your design?
Yeah. So I have a degree in interior design, and I'm not saying, like, that sets me apart from anybody else, but, like, it's nice to have my stuff paid for in my school.
Yeah.
But I think I'm, like, I always evolve, like, with what's current, and then what. So my thing is like, whenever I see a house, whether it's west, east, horizon, central, kern, I try, number one, to stay true to the neighborhood. That's the biggest challenge.
Yeah.
Because everybody nowadays, it's like, oh my gosh, let's go modern, let's do this. But it's like, you're building a modern house in a historical area. Like, it's like so lazy. Yeah. And honestly, it takes minimal effort to, like, redesign a full house rather than use what it has. So I love trying to capture the character of the house first.
Yeah.
And then I have to make it, like, mainstream. I can't be too crazy. I can't be too creative. Yeah. Because I want it to appeal to most people. But I mean, I definitely spend more than not necessarily that I should, but I spend more to try to make more, or if not the same. Because, like, a lot of people nowadays, they just do, like, okay, let's paint it, let's put carpet, let's put, everybody's using the same stuff. And I'm like, boring.
Yeah. You're like, can we add a little color?
I'm like, oh, damn, put a picture on your wall or something. like, it's, like, so typical. It's like, oh, seen this one before, I've seen that one before. So I just try to do something different. And, you know, you could get away with so much, even with, like, light fixtures.
Yeah.
The types of appliances you use, like, all the flashy good stuff that the builders lure you in on, you have to take that approach to flipping.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I have these clients who, it's funny because they're like, hey, I found a good flip. And I'm like, cool, okay. And I design consult for them too. Yeah. So if it's not my flip, I will consult for them. And they'll be like, I want to spend $12,000. I'm like, good luck. You know, I'm like, if you spend more, you will make more or the same, you know? So it's like, but I want to sell it for $250. I'm like, cool. I'm like, with the cheap tile you're using, good luck. Like, I'm not gonna be your listing agent when you do that.
You're like, no.
So I put like a sense of honesty into it, because I tell them, if we're doing a cheap neighborhood, obviously you don't have to do refrigerated air.
Yeah.
But you could still have a beautiful design on a budget. Because that's like, I'm super cheap. I'm very frugal. I should call myself frugal. But I'm cheap. And what is it? Somebody always says you can either be cheap or easy, but you can't be both. So I'm definitely cheap. And so I just try to, like, whatever I have, I try to, like, put an incredible amount of thought into before I pick what I pick.
What's the biggest difficulty when it comes to, like, flips and everything? Because I know you've got tons of stories.
You know what? I have the worst. I think I've come to the realization that I am part of the problem 100%, because, and I need therapy, because it's the contractors that are like my devils. Like, they're the devil. Like, and I like having a good relationship with my contractors, but I give them way too much leniency.
Yeah.
I'm a big enabler of, like, their behavior. And because I feel like anybody who's as passionate as I am, if they're working for me, why wouldn't they be passionate about, like, if you're a tile guy, wouldn't you want to do the best tile out there? And I'm like,
I want you to, like, show my work and, like,
I know,
advertise
but
it.
hell no. Like, they don't take pride in what they do. So I guess I always assume that they're going to.
Yeah.
And then when I see the tile, I'm like, are you joking? I swear to God. Okay,
You're
so,
like, no.
So I went to Cancun, right? And there's pyramids there that are, like, thousands of years old. I'm not a history major, but they're friggin' thousands of years old. They're, like, perfectly symmetrical, right?
Yeah.
So all I did for 30 minutes was complain about how the F are they doing perfectly symmetrical lines thousands of years ago, and my contractors can't even do a goddamn straight line on the wall. And so I was, like, pissed. And, like, for 30 minutes while I was at the pyramids, I was like, what is the problem here?
You're like,
so I brought, like, when I came back to El Paso, I talked to my contractors. I was like, you know what I learned in Mexico? I was like, they can do a straight line with, I don't know what kind of tools they had back then. And you guys, with everything you have available to you, you cannot produce a straight line.
Oh my God.
And they thought it was, like, being ridiculous. But I'm telling you, like, it's just frustrating when you work with people that they don't give a shit. And then they come and they kind of let you catch the mistake, you know? So, like, I've come to the houses and, like, I'll notice, like, a big bubble in the wall, right? And I'm like, and then I go and I'm like, hey, you know, guy, because I don't know which contractor it is. And I'm like, hey, is there anything you want to tell me about this? Yeah. And they're like, oh, like, what? And I'm like, I don't know.
There's a big ass bubble.
Is there anything? And they're like, oh, you mean that? I'm like, oh my God, you saw it too. I'm so happy. I'm like, thank you so much. I try to let him point it out, because if not, I'm, like, scolding them. I'm like, you need to fix this. But I'm like, I'm so glad that you caught that. Okay, so when are we going to fix it? But if I don't catch it, they won't catch it. They won't tell me, but they'll know. Yeah. So it's, like, disappointing, because I'm, like, not a babysitter. No. But I have to be, but I don't want to be. So it's, like, an inner battle of, like, do I really want to go check on them? But 12 times a week. Yeah. Yeah. You have to if you want the progress. Yeah. So now, I mean, I've gone through good ones. I've had really good ones. They get real busy. I have a really good person right now, but I've gone through really bad ones. Like, really, really bad ones. Stolen, gone to prison. Oh, God. Their grandmother died 6 times. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, they would give me these excuses, and I'm like, didn't this happen back in April or something, you know? You're like, I still have the text messages. I know. I'm like, interesting. So now I just keep it to myself, but I just am like, you know, and another thing, because you are a business owner, I am a business owner, and I feel like business owners should have just the bare minimum, right? Accountability, what is it called when you're punctuality? I'm like, what's it called? And, you know, that's it. Like, and good communication. Yeah. That's, like, bare minimum. I don't get any of them from those people. Like, contractors are great at what they do, but they're really bad at having a business sometimes. Yeah. And it's funny, because I had one time, I did a flip over in Kern, and I wanted to get a landscaping quote, right? And it's the first time I worked with this guy. And he knew me and I knew him. He decided to buy a house from someone else, even though I had helped him like a year before, but he just wasn't ready. Yeah. I met him the first time I met him at a bar. And he's like, hey, how are you? It's nice to meet you. And I was like, oh, good. He's like, oh, guess what? I just closed on my house. I was like,
Like,
I was
asshole.
like, really?
Yeah.
I was like, okay, dummy. Like, that's not the first thing you say to somebody who has a business. So I'm like, oh, congrats. Cool. Like, what do you say to that? It's your business. So then he goes, yeah, but you know what? Because I have a landscaping company. I was like, oh, awesome. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to use everybody but him. but, you know, that's just me being petty. So I was like, okay, cool. Well, you know, if I ever need landscaping, I'll call you.
Yeah.
So I actually did need some landscaping. So I was like, I'll get a quote from you. So I remember I set up an appointment. Let's pretend it was like a Friday. And I was like, okay, we're going to meet at the house at 10.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. So I get there like at 9:45 just because I just got there early and I had some stuff to do in the car. So I get there, I'm on the phone on this, whatever time passes. It's like 11:15. I mean, I'm sorry, not 11:15, like 10:15.
Okay.
So it's like 15 minutes pass and then I don't say anything. I don't message him because I'm like, why am I going to remind you of an appointment you made?
Yeah.
So then 10:30 rolls around and I'm like, this. So I leave.
Yeah.
And he texts me or he messages me. He's like, hey, you know, I'm so sorry. Like, I'm on my way now. And I'm like, don't bother. I'm like, nobody's there. And he's like, oh, no, can I call you? And I'm like, I'm driving. Because I'm like so annoyed at that point. And he's like, no, it's just because I was with a client. I was like, I'm a client.
Yeah.
I'm like, and this is our first time meeting each other.
First impression,
I was like, you think that if you do this now, when you have, like, you're trying to earn the business, you ain't going to be doing this when you have the business?
Yeah.
I was like, I just can't. I can't do that because I've been so, like, lenient on my guys. So now I'm like, I haven't even worked with you and I don't want to work with you. You know? And then he proceeded. So I told him, I was like, you know what? I'm sorry, but it's just not going to work. He's like, for real? And I was like, yeah, for real.
You're like, it ain't going to work.
And then he proceeded to send me not text messages, Facebook messages saying how arrogant I was and how he had heard, like, oh, you've changed. You used to be so friendly and this, and now you're so arrogant and all this stuff. And I'm like, that's funny because not too long ago you were trying to slide into my messages.
Slide into the DM.
I know, and I was like, I'm not arrogant. I just have expectations now.
Yeah.
And you don't meet them.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Like, sorry, I'm not sorry.
I'm like, sorry that you failed and I didn't. But, like, I just was pissed that he was, like, so aggressive coming at me, like,
yeah,
you're so arrogant.
Because
like,
you might have given him another chance, like, months later.
If he had done work for me, like, oh my God, if you do good work for me one time, like, you can probably get away with anything. Do not listen if you're my contractor. But you really could, because I'm so flexible if you've done good work.
Yeah.
Because I have, like, that trust already. I'm too trusting. So when I've never met you, I'm like, I can't do that.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't help me any. So.
And you're like, dude, I've been called worse, so don't worry about it.
Yeah, I'm like, shoot. I'm like, arrogant. It's not so bad.
What's your biggest advice to someone that's looking into getting to the flips on houses?
Oh gosh. Well, try to reach out to somebody who has any type of successful experience doing it, because it's so challenging. And the real problem is you're like a conductor, just like a realtor. You have to be in charge of the property, what happens to the property, how you buy the property, if I tell you, like, hey, you should start flipping, and I can tell you right off the bat, if you say, hey, I've got an address for you that I think is a good flip, I can tell you in 20 minutes or less what I think it could sell for, what I think it might cost to put into it, and what you should purchase it at.
Yeah.
It's very, very simple as far as, like, a calculation goes.
Yeah.
But then you have all these, like, factors of, okay, are my contractors going to delay me? Are the holding costs going to be more than I think? So there's so many things that are, like, secrets, like, hidden. And you learn as you go. Like, I'm still learning as I go. Yeah. And I'm not the most knowledgeable on the subject, but I really love what I do. So I try to learn and share share everything that I know with anybody. Yeah. You know? So if you were to come to me and say, hey, could you show me how to do that? In a heartbeat, I would say absolutely, because I would love for other people to get into it if they feel like they are really excited about it. But everybody, it's trendy. You know, it's been trendy for a while. Yeah. So everybody's like, oh my God, I want to flip a home. And I'm like, well, what do you know about flipping? Nothing. I'm like, well, okay, I want to be Jennifer Lopez at the Super Bowl, but I don't know. There's nothing I know
You're
about
like,
that.
no, sorry.
Yeah, like, so you just have to take an interest in what you're doing and see why you're doing it. Yeah. Are you doing it to, like, put yourself on social media? Are you doing it to, like, be a part of something, or are you doing it to make money? Like,
yeah, what's your reasons?
Yeah. So I would say get with somebody who's actually had some experience, and whether it's good or bad, any experience is helpful. And then talk to people, shadow people.
Yeah.
Like, that's really helpful. When I did my first flip, it was crazy because I did it all by myself. Like, 100%. I had no help. And I don't know why I never looked at it as, like, risky. I always thought, like, yeah, I could do this, and yeah, I can do this. And at the end of my first flip, I was living in the house. I was literally, like, so broke that I was selling off my laptop, selling off my computer, just so that I can pay my 2 mortgages. No, actually, yeah, because I had a rental at the time, and then I moved into my flip. And so I was like, I'm like, everything's going into my flip. And it was cool, but it was not
the best.
Yeah, like, no. I mean, I wish I would have had, like, tons of money to be like, yes, like, just take your time, buy the house when you want. But it took me a long time to get it on the market because my contractors were sucky, you know? So, I mean, I think, in general, set yourself up for the worst case scenario and hope for the best.
I gotcha.
And then just, you know, be very, very, very critical of the people that you give money to. That's, like, my biggest, even today, like, even to this day, I still have a problem with accountability of the money, because you give money to a contractor because they tell you the work has been completed or this. If it's, like, visible stuff, like, if it's cosmetic stuff, I'm like, okay, I can check. I can go see if the tile's good. I can go see if the grout's good. I can go see if the countertops are in. You can see it. Yeah. But if somebody says, like, all the electrical's done, I'm not an electrician. Yeah. I'm not a plumber. I'm not a roofer. So, like, of course I'm gonna go based off of your skill set. That's your company. So, like, I would hope you wouldn't be making that up. But it's just about trusting people, I think, too.
I gotcha. Yeah. I gotcha. So now we're done with the boring stuff. Now let's get to the tea.
Okay.
I need to know the personal
life
of Heather.
Of Maya. Okay, you know, I don't even know where that started.
I don't know, because I think because when you drink, you don't realize when you introduce yourself, you're like, I'm Heather.
Oh my God. I really am a natural blonde. I mean, I know, like, I overly highlight the color, so it's like a white one. Yeah. I know. No. But, I mean, I really am, like...
Yeah, you are blonde.
I mean, you can all see my roots right now, because I have not gotten a hair highlight. I literally have had so many blonde moments where I'm like, I ain't faking it. Like, this is right. Like, I'm really a blonde. But yeah, I guess I'm more uppy, like, cheerful, than, like, hey, this is Heather. Like, wouldn't you want to be around somebody like that than somebody like...
That's boring. Yeah, for sure.
Like, it's Thursday.
Well, so what's some of your, like, guilty pleasures?
Oh, my... Okay. Here's the thing. And, like, my fiance... Oh, I love him so much. But... he is not the biggest on TV. Like, he's like, it's TV. Like, I have better things to do. And I'm like, I don't. And, you know, I deal with people all day. Like, and it's frustrating. And I have all these, like, intellectual conversations, and I have to think about things. And I'm like, my brain is tired. So I want to, like, veg out on the couch and watch reality TV. That's me. So my obsession is a couple things. 90 Day Fiancé.
Oh, that's my favorite. Are you watching it right now?
Come on. I watched it, like, the premiere before the premiere. Like, I was like how they do, like, the before the they're like, oh, a sneak peek. I'm like, what? Oh, like, so I know the people are ready. Yeah. And Love After Lockup.
Oh my God, that I am obsessed with that show. I'm obsessed. This is the best thing.
And I'm like, God damn, they made so much money in prison. I'm like, I don't know how people don't make money out of prison when they can make so much money in prison. So I'm like, I was like, man, when I was single, I should have pretended like I was in prison and like.
Are you watching the Life After Lockup right now?
Everything that has to do with it, like life, love, in lockup. I don't know what they call it. I just like see it and I'm like, oh my God. It's quality. Yeah, no, it's really good. So I love reality horrible TV. I think it's so entertaining and like so mind-numbing that you're like, I don't have to worry about contracts and agents and earnest money and like I can tune out. So yeah. I love reality TV.
I do too. Honestly, like the one that I'm into too is if you want to feel like a better parent, just watch Super Nanny. And that's all you have to do.
And that's another thing.
And then you're like, okay, I'm not doing that much of a fucked up job.
Right? It's like, okay, it's like reality TV that's horrible for you, but it's so motivational because you're like, I am nothing like these people. Like, I'm doing it.
You're like, I thought my life was falling apart, but I guess not.
So it's like free therapy.
Yeah.
Free motivational coaching, all in one. And nobody gets that. So, like, when I talk to Mauro, I'm like, I know that it's so stupid, but, like, I like it.
Yeah.
And that is what it is.
Well, I feel bad because Justin, he doesn't really choose what's on TV. So wait,
please just tell me that there's, like, he has it on the Redneck channel.
I was like,
no.
hunting, fishing. No, he doesn't even have that. Like, I always have it on, and so he knows, like, every single housewife, every single thing, because he's always, like, having to watch it with me because I'm like OCD about the remote control. Maybe this is why childhood you bring up the issues because my dad. Yes, because my dad wouldn't let me like watch my own TV, and he was always like, even when he was asleep, he'd have the remote, and I wasn't allowed to watch. Yes, whatever. So I'd be like this.
I'm your dad.
So I'd literally be like this, and he'd wake up all the time. So I was once I got into my own house. He's like, no, I'm watching the game, and he's like passed out snoring his ass off. So when I got to a point where I got to do it, now that's me. I'm literally like, no, I don't want to watch that shit. I don't want to do that. But it's like I said, I watch all the reality TV too.
Oh my God. Anytime if I ever have like a moment where I'm like, not frustrated, I'm usually a very positive person, but of course, like, I get frustrated and I get irritable. And then of course, like, as a woman, we all know when there's a certain time of the month, you're like, don't test me right now, please. And so, like, one time Mauro was like, have you been watching The Real Housewives? Because he, like, assumes that I'm more dramatic because of them. I'm like, they don't persuade me to be more dramatic.
No.
I have it within me, okay? It's just, like, it's just a day, But it's so funny because I just find it so, like, I love documentaries. I absolutely am obsessed with any documentaries, but you do have to think about them. You have to, like, just put your mind to it. So, like, this stuff, I'm, like, eating chips, eating whatever, and I'm, like, playing with my puppy, and I'm like, oh, nothing in the world is going to bother me for the next 30 minutes, like 60 minutes when Love After Lockup's on.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, did you see what happened? And he actually he loves 90 Day Fiancé. We watch it every Sunday.
Justin loves it too. He won't admit it. He's always like, I have to watch it because Victoria watches it.
Right. They're like, oh, no, it's because we want to be together, but I have to watch. I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
Like, you love it.
Well, there was actually, like, he'll kill me for saying this, but no, I'm going to because we are
Justin.
spilling the tea.
Sorry.
Because I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
But when one time, like, he had gotten home early, and it was before we had kids at the time. And so I get home early, and I go upstairs, and then I hear, like,
I know what's happening.
So I was like, oh, what the fuck? He's addicted to porn. What? I'm gonna walk into something, or God only knows. So I walk in, and then he's like, and I'm like, okay. And then I walk in, and he's watching, like, the season finale of the Orange County Housewives. And I was like dying when I saw that. And he was like, you better not tell anyone. And I'm like, of course I told everyone.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It's really addictive when you don't even realize that you put it on. Like, subconsciously, you're like, what's on TV?
But he wanted to hide that he was watching that. And I was laughing so hard. I was like, why were you, like, okay?
What did he say?
He was just like, it was just on, like, he was just, like, stone cold. I just had walked upstairs, and he was just like,
Oh my God, that's the best.
It was, like, super awkward, and then after a while I was like, okay, you just want to watch the finale, it's okay.
Yeah, you're like, we can watch it together.
Because, like, if I watch something, or he watches something that I'm not there, it's like, what do they call it? Like, binge watch cheating.
Oh, yeah.
And I get pissed. I'm like, no.
Yeah. That's why sometimes, like, me and Mauro will get into a show, right?
Yeah.
And he'll get in, but, like, 10 minutes into it, he's passed out.
That's just
like,
it, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, it's so sweet, and they work so hard, but I'm like, I'm awake. so we'll start a show, and it'll be really good. And so he'll be like, the next day, he'll be like, so are we going to watch this? And I'm like, girl, I already watched the first 3 seasons. Like,
that's my biggest pet peeve, because Justin will fall asleep, and then it's like, I've seen this episode 3 fucking times. I'm like, let's get on to the next one, you know?
And he's like, it's rude. I'm like, keep up with it, like watch it, and then we'll watch it together. But like, it's funny because like, yeah, every time we go to watch something, if it's not like earlier in the day, like 10 minutes and he's out. But yeah, it's so funny because we can't keep the same, and like what, we're talking about TV, like, you know, it's not like we're talking about something important, but it's funny because I'm like, I watched that episode like 6 days ago. Like, I'm already on season 12.
You're like, come on now.
He's like, oh, and that happened because we tried to watch Game of Thrones together.
Oh, God.
And like, it was great for the first 2 episodes. And then like, the next time he talked about it, he's like, so are we going to watch it again? I was like, I'm literally finished with the whole series.
You're like, I'm done with the series.
I'm on episode, or like season number 9 or something.
Oh my
I was like,
God.
you have like 65 hours to catch up to me. So it's like, forget it. And I'm like, it's not that I watch a lot of TV, because the thing is that with me, I work a lot from home.
Yeah.
Right? And so, of course, like, I've become such a homebody lately.
Yeah.
And I think also because I enjoy being home. I enjoy being with my dogs. I enjoy, like, spending time with them. And now my mom lives here. So, like, I just enjoy doing all my work from home. Why would I want to go somewhere that I can do it at home?
Yeah.
So it's funny because I always have the TV on. And it's not because I'm, like, watching it and I'm not working. It's
You like the
because
sound.
I like the sound.
Yeah, me too.
And so I like to be, like, I could watch the same episode 6 times and not know what happened.
Yeah.
Just because I don't quite pay attention to it. But I just like hearing, like, I like pretending I have friends and, like, people that are around me. So I'm like, I'm not so lonely. But yeah, so, I mean, it's weird because I've always had, like, that kind of comfort.
Yeah.
Because I've worked from home a lot throughout the years. Like, we don't have to work at an office. We don't have to show up 9 to 5.
Yeah.
So it's so awesome. But it definitely comes, like, addicting when you're like, okay, what's the next show that I'm going to watch? And I'm like, I don't have any shows to watch anymore. Like, I've watched them all.
Oh, girl,
Like,
I got a whole TV. Justin calls me the TV guide. I know the day, the time, everything. That
I was literally at one point last year researching if I could get paid for watching episodes. I was like, can I turn this into a business of some sort? Like, what can I do to make money while I'm having this on?
Yeah.
You know, because they pay people to go watch movies and, like, critique it or review it. So I'm like, how do I get this job? I'm like, I need to fulfill my time with something other than this, you know? But I could never find it, I don't think.
You're like,
Like,
oh my
legitimate. It was never a legitimate link. It was always like, work from home, $5,000 a day. I'm like, that sounds great. Like, oh, it's a scam. It's a scam from Nigeria. Oh my shit, I fell.
And then it's like a porn site or something that you got directed to.
I'm like, why are they asking to request my video accent? my webcam accent?
Oh
I'm like,
my
why are they
God.
trying to log into my webcam? I'm like, is this what I have to do for work from home?
Oh my God, you're hilarious.
No, I've never done that though, but it would be so
It pays
funny.
well, I've heard.
No, we can't do it. We're not single.
That's
Those
true.
days are over.
Well, they're long over.
I know. Oh my gosh. But me and Isabel, we talk. Isabel Dempsey is just one of our friends. Isabel
Otten now.
Otten.
Girl, everyone's still, you're still Heather Harmston.
Hell yeah.
Like, everyone's still on my phone as when I first met them.
Oh my gosh, Laura is on my phone as when I
Powers.
first met her. Yeah. And I just have a hard time changing it. I'm like, I don't know you like that. Like,
Yeah.
So, we kind of joke around about, like, those funny things, like, when we were single. But other than that, I mean, like I said, I don't have a lot of interactions with my people anymore because I'm always, like, either going to my houses, working from home, working with other agents, like, trying to close deals. But everything is so business oriented that when I get home, I literally want to be like a sloth and just, like, stay at my house, chill on the couch or whatever, be with my dogs, and that's it.
So you said your mom lives with you.
Mm-hmm.
How has that dynamic been between the 3 of you guys?
So, in our house, it's such a cool house. I got a really good deal on it. Actually, one of the agents that sold it to me is here. But the house is like 3,000 square feet, the house. And it sits on like a 20,000 square foot lot. And it's in Central. But I have a garage that's detached from the house. And above the garage is a 600 square foot studio. So, my mom, she got divorced, and she, came out in October, I think. And we moved her up to the studio apartment. I mean, it's a full, like, kitchen, bathroom, everything.
Yeah.
So, she's been here since October, and it's so nice. Like, it's been such a blessing to have her here. Because, I haven't lived with my mom or lived near her since I was, like, 19. You know, because like when I moved out when I was 19, I got married and then I moved to Alaska and then I moved here directly from there. Like I went to Chicago to finish up my degree in school, but for 1 year. But I lived with my best friend out there. And then she had already moved. So when she came here, it was like the first time in 10 years that I've been here for her birthday, for Christmas, for anything. So it's really, you don't know what you're missing until you have it again. And you're like, oh, this is really nice. So she has the studio apartment. She loves it. She's really like thriving here. She loves the weather. She volunteers with the Humane Society. She's really cool. Maudo loves her. She loves Maudo. We're like practically married already anyways. Yeah. So it's like her son-in-law. But yeah, it's been really good. Like at first I was like, wow. Yeah. I'm like, how's it gonna be? But it's been awesome. Yeah. And she's so nice, and the thing is she helps a lot with the dogs. Yeah. Because now we have freaking 4 dogs. And she has 2 of them in her studio. So 2 of them actually like practically live with her now. So it's been really good.
Oh my God. Yeah. You're crazy.
Yeah, we're like, you know what? We're like the modern day Brady Bunch, I guess. Like, you know, because Maudo has his parents and his 2 sisters in Colorado, and he has 3 kids. And then now we have 4 dogs and a horse. And my mom. God. So it's like a big clan of like, what is it like the show, like Big Life, Bigger Life?
Yeah.
It's like us, or like 20 and counting.
Oh my God.
It's not children, it's just family members. But it's been awesome. You're
like, wait till all that happens.
I know. I mean, we're still being pestered about a grandchild, but now we have a puppy, so we don't get asked anymore. It's gonna last for like a good year, and then I'll probably be asked again.
So anyway, Heather doesn't know this, but we have 6 hot seat questions that we get from Twitter, and we get from everyone. They send in their text messages, so you look a little paranoid. Don't worry about it. It's all good.
What you want to know?
I was like, I want to know, girl. Okay, and they're funny questions. Dad bod or fit bod?
Dad bod. And let me tell you why. Because everybody that has a fit bod is a total douche.
That's true. And you know what? My dad had a saying all the time. And it's true. He was like, you never go for the fit guy. I was like, why? He said, because that means he's broke. I'm like, why do you say that? And he was like, because no guy with a job has time to spend 2 hours at the gym.
Totally.
And I agree with, and the more and more I see it, the more and more it's true. Unless you're an actor or that's your profession.
A stuntman.
Yeah.
A personal trainer. But you know, it's crazy because most of the guys that I've ever seen that have really good bodies are the most into themselves. That like they don't need a partner because they got themselves.
That's true.
I like a dad. Well, I like in between. I like a guy that takes care of himself, but he ain't like 6-pack abs, things like that.
Yeah, it's like just
because girl, I don't got no 6-pack, so I don't have high expectations.
I don't either.
I'm like, yeah, I cannot expect what I do not want to do.
And this is my problem.
I know. Well, yeah. You know, I don't know what my problem is because I go on all these like crazy diets and I seem to like never have something stick. Yeah. So I'm just like, whatever. Like but yeah, dad bod for sure.
Okay. Top or bottom?
Of what?
You know what I'm talking about.
Top. I don't know. I guess it depends on the day.
It depends if you're wanting to be in control or not.
Yeah, it depends on my mood, really. I don't know. It depends on the setting. Are we in the car? Are we in the bedroom? Are we on the couch? I don't know. There's so many things. So probably both.
There's so many entities.
Yeah. So many things to be involved with. I'm going to say both.
Okay. If you had 24 hours to live, what would you do in that day?
I would. Oh, it's because it's hard because I would say like I would want to travel somewhere, but it's like if traveling time wasn't included, I'd probably want to travel. I would probably want to spend it with all like my loved ones, my most important loved ones. I would want to eat everything and anything I can find. I would probably, I don't know. That's a really good question. Besides all those things I just mentioned, I don't know if I would include anything else that like is like on my bucket list. Yeah. I would love to do something somewhere else, somewhere new that I've never seen, like explore. I would probably explore something.
I gotcha. So, what personality trait do you like in a guy?
You know, there's like a lot of things that I would have to like require, but I do love humor. Oh, if you can make me laugh, like that's the one. Absolutely. It's ironic because when I first met my fiance, he's so handsome. We had such a good like intellectual conversation. But I told him, I was like, I didn't know if you were going to be able to make me laugh. Because I think we were both on our best behaviors.
Yeah.
And we weren't like, but I am so goofy that I didn't let that part out of me. So I was like, God, I love everything about him. I just don't know if he can make me laugh. And like within a week, I was like, oh, I was so wrong. So if I were to have been single, it would be humor.
Yeah.
100%. But of course, I mean, I would want you to look good too. So that would be a plus. But God. Humor, for sure.
Celebrity crush.
Oh my gosh, what's his name? Tom Hardy. He was in. He's that like English or Irish guy. He was in the point match tennis movie with what's her face.
And he has a show with me and Justin watch, and I'm trying to remember.
Does he have a new show? I don't know if I've ever seen him in a show, but I've seen him in a few movies. So.
Well, he's like in that Marvel. He's one of the.
Is he?
Yeah.
Is he really like an Avenger or something like that?
Mm-hmm. Not an Avenger. It's the one that. Oh, now you have me thinking, but
yeah, I would say that or like Javier Bardem.
Who's that?
He's a Spanish guy. He's married to Penelope Cruz.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, buddy.
Olay! Because we like the exotic men. That's what your mom always says. She's always like, I'm so happy you ended up. But she doesn't say Mexican. She's with a brown boy.
I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, but I keep telling her like I can't wait to have like little mixed race babies. Like,
they're gonna be so gorgeous
like
too.
Dulce de leche. That's gonna be our babies.
And by the way, Heather is probably more Mexican than I am.
I am probably. Well, I don't know why. I don't know what I'm because I did my ancestry DNA test. I have absolutely no Mexican in my ancestry, but I was literally gonna cross it out and be like, "This is bullshit," because I know that I've got
someone is from
South
the
America,
motherland.
some Spain, something like. I'm like, this is not true.
Someone is from the motherland.
Yeah, I'm like, I know that I have a connection to this.
Oh my God. Well, if you were to win the lottery, what would you do?
I would travel for sure.
Yeah.
But how much money are we talking about? Like a $20 scratch off ticket,
or
like a full blown lottery.
Yeah.
Okay, if I was like a billionaire, if I was a billionaire, first and foremost, I would probably give all my friends and family some money. I would tell all the haters to go F themselves. I would probably buy up as many houses in all the entire country that I could just to have them. But I'd probably want to travel and experience everything I can. I would literally take a couple years off and just you would be like, what happened to her?
Yeah.
And that's it. And I would also file anonymously because I'm not stupid. People that, it's weird because when people win the lottery and they want that recognition, who the hell wants that?
It? Yeah.
If I were to ever win anything more than $1 million, you would best believe I'm not going to file so anybody knows that it's me.
I don't know in Texas if you can, because you know how some states...
I think you can.
Oh, really?
In Texas.
Not that I would know that.
And if I couldn't, I would get the hell out of here. I would file, win it, claim it, and go. And be like, sorry, I'm out, peace out. And then I might come back 10 years later when I am established. Because, people get crazy, and then I don't want, people trying to kidnap me or anything, for my money. So, I would do that.
You're like... See, that wasn't bad. Those 6 questions.
No, nothing. What else you got? You got any more?
No, we're good there.
Yeah,
we're good there.
No, nothing is for me. I of course I don't go sharing my personal life story with strangers. But if you want to know something, I told because I was talking to Mata this morning before we did our podcast, and I was like, the thing is people that tell the truth do not need time to rehearse questions.
No, that's true.
Really, of course we want to look a certain way. We want to be professional. Tie or whatever and etiquette, but I'm I'm not gonna if I'm taking too long to figure something out, it's because I'm lying and I'm not gonna tell you. So I just have no problem with that.
So the whole point about this podcast is to really get to know everyone that I have on because I know them through business and stuff and personally a lot of the times, but some things you don't know.
Yeah.
So what is one thing that most people don't know about you?
I share a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Just because of course, everybody knows I love dogs.
Yeah.
And most people know that, like, I love to play softball and I'm active and I play outside and whatever, like a little kid. So, like, I play outside. But God, that's a good question. I despise mother effing cilantro. I don't like cilantro. I hate mushrooms. Friggin' hate mushrooms. I'm not from here. I mean, I think some people know that I'm not from here. I'm from Chicago, but I've like adopted this city as my home.
Yeah.
For the past 10 years. This is how I am. Like, whenever I meet you, I'm really dumb sometimes. Like, and this is what bothers me, because I always joke around with people. Like, people have this like superiority complex where they're like, well, you're so smart or whatever, and I'm like, nobody can be smart at everything.
Yeah.
Like, even a scientist may not know jack shit about cooking.
Yeah.
And like, for me, I know, like, this is like my tagline, like my bumper sticker. I know what I know, and I don't know what I don't know. And I'm like, it's not that simple. I mean, It's not that hard. Like, it's simple. But people, like, complicate everything. So I'm like, I can have the dumbest moments, like, true dumb blonde moments. I have a really, really good sense of humor. I mean, I think some people that know me probably know that. Yeah. But, like, not your average person that comes into contact with me, like, work-related. I have, like, a playful sense about me, but I really think I have, like, a very good sense of humor. And I'm really, like... nothing really pisses me off. Like, nothing. No. I'm very easygoing. So if I see something that happens, I'm a super advocate for animals, animal cruelty, like anything like that, I will pop you. I will never do that, but I will probably try to like punch you in the face if I see something happening where it's like like I'll stand up for what I believe in. But other than that, I'm just pretty goofy. Like, I'm a 32-year-old, like 5-year-old in a 32-year-old's body.
Yeah.
32-year-old's body.
You're like,
don't worry, I
got you.
Yeah. I think that's about it.
No, I think you're a pretty open book with everything, too.
Yeah.
So.
Like, I mean, I guess it just depends on how respectfully somebody asks me something.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, if it's like a ridiculous question in an inappropriate setting, like, what's it your business? But over the year, like, I don't get offended by most of anything.
No, you don't.
It's because we have to deal with so many assholes. So like, literally, I'm like, what happens? If you get offended by something, you will literally spend your whole day offended.
Yeah.
And then for what? Like, to somebody that you don't know? Like, you don't know their last name?
It's not worth it.
It's ridiculous. It's like, people are so stupid these days.
And by the way, Heather went to my wedding, which was 5 years ago.
I did.
Best wedding ever. MVP at that wedding.
I was.
You and Beto and Franco.
Oh my god.
Because they were up like...
Oh, we partied. Oh my gosh, Bess, can I tell this story? Okay. So
you can say whatever.
There was a bunch of us in the hot tub, right? And I don't dabble in drugs. I've never taken like any crazy hardcore drugs.
Yeah.
I've done weed and I've smoked marijuana. And many of my friends have. Many of our colleagues have. Yeah. So it's funny because we were in Mexico. We were in Puerto Vallarta and we were in the hot tub. And it was like 7 or 8 of us in the hot tub, probably at like 12. I think it was like midnight. It was really late. And this waiter comes by, or this guy that's working the hotel comes by. And somebody, well, I won't mention their names because I don't have their approval, but somebody was like, hey, bro. And then they went and talked to them and stuff. So they literally, from the whole hotel staff, got a bunch of weed. So we're like, so then we got weed.
Because this was like before the wedding, the day before or something.
It was, I cannot remember. It was the best trip of my whole life. It was so fun because
everyone was a shit
how many
show.
of us went together? There was like 12 of us that flew together. We stayed
together.
It was
100 people that were there.
Yeah, it was amazing. Like, I cannot imagine having 100 people at a local wedding, let alone at a wedding in Mexico. But it was crazy because there was 12 of us, I think, that traveled the entire time together. Like, we left here, we flew out of Juarez.
Yeah.
We went to Mexico, we came back, like, we were all together. And so, so he got the hookup in Mexico. And I was like, how do you people do this? Like, I was like, this is so amazing. So we all just enjoyed ourselves. We had a blast. We had so much fun. And I don't regret it.
No, hey!
And nobody else does either.
No one else probably did that.
It was so much fun. I think people need to, like, loosen up a little bit, lighten up a little bit, Just enjoy life.
For anyone that doesn't know, Heather and I have been friends a long time.
You know, it's so funny, okay? Because, like, when I was prepping for this, I'm like, I'm not going to prep for any of these questions. But it got me thinking, like, okay, how long have I known you? And, like, what if we talk about our past? And I'm thinking, like, I know the exact moment that I met you. You probably don't, but the exact moment the exact moment that I met you was when you first started dating Justin, and he brought you to Emily's house for, like, a barbecue.
That was a long...
I don't know how long ago that was.
Like, that's when we had first,
like 8 years ago?
Yeah. It was, like, date, like, 3 or
Yeah, you
something.
were barely brand new with Justin.
Yeah.
And it was so funny because we were at Emily's house, and I remember I talked to you in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Like, why? What? Like, I'm not obsessed with you, but, like, why do I remember that? It's so weird, like, how you remember things. But, yeah, I remember the exact moment we met.
And you were like, ugh.
I was, like, in love. I was like, Justin. But no,
like,
because actually I met you through Justin.
Yeah.
And only because he was my loan officer through Zia.
Yeah.
You know, so then, and then we just, like, had a really good friendship, and then it just, like, progressed, and then...
And then you're like, fuck Justin, I have Victoria, so we're good.
Justin? I'm like, sorry, Justin. But yeah, no, and it was fun because then, well, we had, like, our friends, I think, have intertwined over the years. And I met Laura through you, and I'm trying to think whoever is my friend.
It's just funny how everything just kind of clicks.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been like, and I can't even think that it's been that long because I'm like, I don't even remember what I did last week. I'm just like, how do I remember these things from like 10 years ago, but I don't remember what I did last week. It's crazy.
My God.
That's why I think people are, I think the more overwhelmed you get, the more work you get, the more business you get, you forget things.
Yeah.
So people are like, oh, you didn't remember that? Oh, it's not important to you? I'm like, it's not that it's not important to me. I'm like literally getting Alzheimer's early. Like, I'm sorry. I'm like, do you think I want to forget everything? Like, I don't even remember half my clients' names, like their first names. I remember their house. I remember their address. But I don't remember their names.
You're like, oh no.
So I'm like, 10 years of doing this, over 100, like hundreds and hundreds of transactions, like it's hard to remember everybody.
Oh my God. So what are your goals in the next couple of years?
To be a billionaire. No, I think, number one, I've obviously found my niche. How do you say it? Niche? What do you say?
Niche?
Niche?
Yeah.
Niche. Okay.
But as we know, I don't pronounce things that way.
Niche. I know, you're so, oh, you're the best. You're like the opposite of Rosetta Stone.
Yeah, I'm like really bad with like pronouncing things, so don't ask me.
I love it. No, I think honestly my goals are to just continue to be successful in what I love. Because really I have found that if I don't like to do something, I don't want to spend my time doing it. So that's why I know my value now. I know what I have to offer. I know that I don't know everything, but I can help people with their journeys of investment homes and stuff like that. So I think definitely it's like keeping on with the investment track. None of my business is like, no, not none. Most of my business is investment style, whether it's like buyer investors, seller investors, fix and flips, rentals, multi-units, design consulting. Yeah. Like everything is geared towards that, but it's so cool because like I'll get leads from other realtors. They can't sell their listings. It needs work. So they'll come to me or like, do you have any purchases? Do you have any fix and flips coming up? Like, it's just, like, really humbling to see people reaching out to me because they know a little bit of what I do. And they're like, hey, can you help me? Like, can you mentor me? And I'm like, you don't need to pay me. Trust me. Like, I don't know if I'm worth the money, but I'll definitely help you. So I'm like, because I wish I had somebody like that when I started. So I think you pay it forward, you get it back.
Yeah, that's true. It's all karma.
Everybody is so interested in $1, you know? And I'm interested in $1 million.
Maybe it's $1 billion. I'm still working on that.
I'm interested in $1 billion, and you don't get there by screwing everybody over.
Yeah, no, that's true.
And that's the crazy thing about our industry is like everybody's self-interested. Because we all have to work our asses off to get to where we are. We're not salary. It's inconsistent. Nobody is guaranteed a paycheck. So you have to have like a little like predatory, like what is it, like a lion out in the wild. Like you have to be on the hunt for your next meal.
That's the truth.
And it's so different. People are complacent when they work 9 to 5s. They just go show up. That's why it's so hard. That was why it was so hard to date when I was single.
Yeah.
Because let me tell you, and I'm sure you know, like, everybody is like, I'm not kidding, because I know you were going to talk about, like, best pickup lines and stuff. I have yet to find a good pickup line, so I couldn't answer that question, because there's never been, like, a good pickup line. But it's funny, because what I would get a lot is, like, if I were to ever entertain somebody or talk to them, because I didn't really date a lot.
Yeah.
I'd start talking to them, and then, like, no joke, within a week, oh, you must be really busy. And I'm like, duh.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, bitch, I have a job, and I have things to do, and I have a career. And so you'd start to see those red flags, and that's why I never dated. Because I'm like, don't you have something to do?
Yeah.
Like, somebody would text me, and then I would maybe respond later in the day. Oh, shit. Is the alcohol kicking in?
Keep drinking.
Do you know we finished the bottle? Just so you know. But yeah, so I would get these text messages like, hey, okay, I had this guy one time. He was just trying to get to know me. I was in Chicago on a work trip with Isabel Salcido, her sister, one of our friends, and we were all exploring, but they knew that we were in Chicago.
Yeah.
And so I would get like, hey, good morning. And I just didn't respond because I was busy, but I was like, I'm on vacation or I'm working, like I'm interacting. So later, hey, how's it going? I'm like, oh my God. And you know, whenever it becomes like a chore, I'm like, ugh. And so then the next one was like, oh, you must be really busy. I'm like, yeah, I fucking told you I was busy. I'm out in Chicago right now working. Yeah. And then I'm like, that just was like, for me at the time when I was single, I was like, I can't. No. Because it's just a turn off, because I'm like, there's no way you could live my life. You know, because look, we get calls 7 in the morning, 10 at night, and then your average person would be like, who's calling you? Yeah. Who's texting you? I'm like, oh, my loan officer.
Well, and that's the thing too, like, they don't know, if you're not in the business, it's hard for you to know who's calling. Like, you know, if, let's say, it, like, I didn't know anything about the business, and Heather Harmston's calling Justin at 8 o'clock, and I'm like, who's this bitch?
Yeah,
you know? Sure. But since I know everyone in the business, it makes it a lot easier, you know?
Yeah.
And it's hard for people to understand that sort of, like, thing.
They can't grasp it. Like, they don't understand the concept of, like, how's this possible? Yeah. Like, they just ultimately think you're lying or you're making up an excuse. And I'm like, I'm sorry, but I don't have enough time in the day to prove myself to anyone, let alone you. You know? So, like, I just never liked to date, you know, before I met, well, my fiance now. I never did, because I was like, because I really love working. Like, I love my career. I do love real estate. I love investing. I love flipping. So I'm like, do I find something that I love just as much? Do I settle? Do I, like, compensate the person for my work? Like, is it interfering with my work? Yeah. And it's like, I guarantee you we're probably in the top 10 for, like, hardest industries to have a partner in. Yeah. Because it's just crazy. And nobody cares about us. Like, our clients, they call us anytime. They don't care that we're family time or that we have things to do. So you have to just get used to it. But I mean, the good thing is I did kind of like try to not coach Otto, but just to kind of talk to him and say, like, listen, this is really my life. I get calls all the time, and, you know, I want you to come with me as often as you can to any event, anything, any seminar, whatever. But this is not going to change. And so the good thing is he has his own business too, and he starts to realize, like, oh shit, we both have clients. Yeah. And they don't care about, like, oh, we're having dinner right now. Can we call you in an hour? Like, nobody cares about that. Or like, oh, you know, I'm at the hospital right now because I'm so sick. Oh, but what about the house? Yeah. It's like, okay, so that's just what we have to deal with.
That's so true.
And you know it too.
So what are the biggest changes you're wanting to make right now?
More money. More money. Well, no, and it's funny because everybody, because we watch a lot of, like, philosophical, we're on, like, a holistic path right now.
I gotcha.
So we're just kind of, like, spiritual and, you know, like, not letting things get in the way. And, but everybody talks about money being so bad. And the only people that say that are people that are poor. It's like, because really, money fuels happiness. Freedom. Yeah, it fuels, like, half the anxiety that I've ever had is because of finances. Yeah. And it's because I gotta pay this person, I gotta finish this house out, I gotta do this job. Like, yeah, I don't take an easy, like, path in life. And everyone's like, wow, you're taking a lot of risk. I don't see them as risks. They're just hard.
Yeah.
But I need money to fuel other things. Travel, family, paying for things. So it's like, I look at money as like a goal.
Yeah.
Not the devil.
No, and I mean, when you guys have kids, you'll realize too, it gives you the freedom, like, and I'm not saying now, because it is expensive when they're little, but the older they get, it gets more expensive. But I never want to say you can't do this summer camp or you can't do this thing because mommy and daddy can't afford it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And that's I completely understand. Or like health insurance or certain things. It's like those are just things that I feel like I have to do as a parent to give them not like the best life, but just to give them a whole life, you know?
Yeah. Opportunity.
Yeah. To give them the best opportunity.
And it's weird because I think if you're not a business owner, you don't really look at money that way. Like you think like, okay, I work for the money, I get the money, I spend the money where I need it.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of like coasting. But like, yeah, I have big goals to have a lot of money to fund what I want to do. Whether it's like buy more houses or travel and take some time off. Like there's nothing better than having freedom to, like one of my closest friends is having a baby and she lives in California. So I'm going to go out there next month. And having your own business is amazing because I don't have to ask for time off.
Yeah.
I don't have to do anything like that. So I've never been happier with my career. My personal life is awesome. Like I'm super happy with everything so far. And I just want to be a better person and do more things.
Yeah, you've got all that.
Yeah, but other than that, I mean, I don't have like these grand things to be like the next star tennis player or anything like that. I mean, I would love to, like I'm vegan right now. Yeah. Well, okay. I can't say I'm a vegan. I'm vegetarian. Because I do eat like eggs and stuff. But I've been craving chicken and steak so bad lately. So I would love to like just be good on my health and fitness level and like my lifestyle and that. But other than that, I'm pretty content with where I'm at.
Yeah. Well, I have to say, thank you for being on my show.
Oh.
You know, we're BFFs, and I love you to death. But
I wish we could do this like once a week.
I know.
And I mean, like, and really, like, I don't know whose idea it was to start this drinking podcast thing, but it's a brilliant idea.
Well, it fit into my whole thing, too. I'm like, we can get people drunk, and I can have fun with it, you know?
I know, and I really don't feel like anything was invasive.
No, it's not crazy.
No, and you know, it's crazy when people think like, well, I do think alcohol relaxes people.
It does.
But it's funny because it's just nice. I'm just trying to think of like what I have to do later to be like, shit, I gotta sober up a little bit before I go show houses again or my client's gonna know.
You're like, I'm good.
I'm like this beautiful 3-story house and it's like a single story.
We could probably sell it faster though because you'll be like able to describe all the
like, isn't
stuff.
this the best thing ever? You know, it's funny because I got this puppy. I wanted to bring it today, but I was afraid that she would cause a ruckus. But I tell you, like, I'm going to start using her in my marketing. I'm going to bring her on my showings. And everyone's going to fall in love with the puppy, and they're going to buy everything they see. They're going to be like, yeah. It's like marketing strategy.
I got you, girl.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, love. Cheers.
Cheers. Love you.
Love you. Thank you for tuning in to Get Your Buzz On. For anyone that's watching this, we're offering a $20 gift card to Starbucks for anyone that asks for a quote for insurance on home or auto. So who doesn't like coffee? Thank you for tuning in for this week's episode of Get Your Buzz On.